Instaclass by Amity Online. Welcome to the Instaclass by Amity Online. I'm your speaker, Lokesh Raj. If you are starting a business, if you are planning to start a business, then the immediate next question that arises is what will be the business structure? There are multiple business structures like sole proprietorship. It could be a partnership firm. It could be a limited liability partnership. It could be a private limited company. It could be a public limited company, or it could be an association. It could be a trust, or it could be a society. So, which business structure will you choose? And before you choose that business structure, what are the factors that you must consider? Before I start the session, I want us to go in depth with respect to why we should know this. What is the importance of selecting the right business structure for your business? Everything about your business depends upon your business structure. If you make a mess in the selection of the business structure, despite having the best business model, your business could go haywire. At the same time, if you select the right business model and the right business structure, the combination will catapult your business to the skies. So, what are the factors that I should consider while I select the business structure? The first key point is what is the taxability of my business structure? If you are willing to start a proprietorship entity, that is, you are the owner, you are starting the business in your own name. That is why we call sole proprietor. If it is a female, we call it a sole proprietrix. So, what is the benefit? What is the taxability of sole proprietors or sole proprietrix, as the case may be? The taxability is that basic taxable limits applicable for an individual is also applicable for your business structure. Your business taxation and your personal taxation are merged. You have taxability benefits available to an individual, also to your business. What about any other viewpoints? The next viewpoint will be your liability. Whether my liability will be limited or unlimited. There are multiple business structures. Each business has its own liability. For example, sole proprietor and partnership. Partnership is one where you have joined together with your friends, relatives, or your co-founders. In that type of entity and proprietor business, you have unlimited liability. What do you mean by unlimited liability? Unlimited liability is once when you start your business, suppose the business has to pay some money to creditors. It has probably received some loan. It has to repay some vendors. It has to pay some staff. It has to pay the government. To whomsoever this payment is applicable, and the firm or the sole proprietor business has not paid, then the public can rightfully question the owner. However, in case of a legal entity like limited liability partnership, private limited company, you do not have unlimited liability. You have limited liability. That is, if the business goes on default, you need not pay from your personal assets. In fact, all the business assets, whichever is available, will be utilized to settle the creditors, to settle the vendors, to settle the government, to settle the employees. If the business is not having sufficient assets, then Your liability is restricted to that asset level only. In fact, the liability is restricted to the amount of capital you contribute. The higher contribution you have, so much will be your liability. So, with respect to my liability, which is the right business structure? And what are the laws applicable for various business structures? For example, sole proprietorship, they do not have any law applicable. Partnership firm, Partnership Act 1961 is applicable. Limited liability partnership, LLP Act 2008 and the related regulations are applicable. Company, be it public company, private company, listed company, or Section 8 company, or one-person company, all these different kind of companies, they have limited liability, and the law applicable to them will be Companies Act 2013. In case of an association or trust, the respective laws of the state government will be applicable. And also the complexity of legal compliance. Whenever you have a business for which compliance is a must, you need to always ensure that you have least amount of compliance. In case of proprietorship and partnership, least amount of compliance. In case of limited liability partnership, some extra amount of compliance. Probably they will be required to file Form 3, Form 8, Form 11, like that. Annual filing is required. In case of a company, you will have to file the annual general meeting report. You have to file the annual return. You have to get an auditor appointed. You have to conduct regular board meetings every quarter or so. Like that, you have additional legal compliances to be followed by a company. In case of association and trust, as per the laws applicable with respect to the states in which they are, mostly it will be restricted to every year you have to submit the members added, removed, or some changes. Wherever changes happen, you have to submit. And in addition to that, you might have to submit annual general meeting documents, and in addition to that, your financials. So this legal compliance is less when it comes when you start sole proprietorship and partnership. It is high when you go ahead with LLP, and very high when you go with company. Every businessman who starts his business would like to always come up with a brand. All the brands that you know mostly have their company, their entity incorporated as a company. It will be private limited company or a public company. What is the difference between public company and a private limited company? In public company, you have any person joining in the company, they can also contribute. But in case of a private limited company, only select individuals, probably friends, relatives, they will get involved. And how do we manage this entity? So whenever management is concerned, sole proprietors always wins, because sole proprietorship is solely managed by one person. And then some complexity is added when you go to partnership, because every decision you have to consult with the other person also. And when you go to a company, you have board of directors involved. The directors will decide, and then shareholders will approve important decisions. Like that, the decision making and the management of the company is becoming a bit tedious when you go to the higher level. So now let us go in depth with respect to each and every business structure. Pros and cons we will discuss. And you can also keep adding your questions in the chat. As and when I see the chat, maybe I will respond, or maybe at the end of the session, we will respond. So far, if you had any question, feel free to enter the question in the comment, and I would be happy to answer. First, we go into proprietorship business. Proprietorship business, as the name suggests, proprietor, owner, single person managed, single person owned entity. What is the benefit of having your own company run by yourself? Firstly, no need to share your profits with anyone. All profits belong to you. Secondly, management is very, very easy. It is you who has to decide, not anybody else. You don't have to depend on somebody else. Of course, you can still have consultants, but at the same time, decision is always with you. Taxability, the most important part. If you are a sole proprietor, the tax benefit is that up to 10 lakhs, you have slab rates. And after 10 lakhs, you have to pay at 30%. So slab rate benefit, which is available for an individual, is available for the business also. Next, what are the cons of a sole proprietor business? It is you alone who has to run the business. At the same time, in case there is a default, you have to expose your personal assets, and your personal assets can be taken over by the vendors and the banks, whoever has given you money or whoever you have kept due money. So this is the drawback. And mostly when you say I'm a sole proprietor owner, it does not bode well. But when you say I'm a director in so and so company, which is a private limited company, then that is a brand. But if you say I am the owner of my own company, it looks a less preferable option. But then companies don't have, repercussions in selecting sole proprietors. You can easily select sole proprietorship business. It is the easiest form of incorporating. You can start the business in a minute. The moment you decide, you can go ahead and register in Udyogadar website, the government's free website. You can go ahead and website, register with the help of your Aadhaar. Just give the name of your company and your company is ready within few minutes. Same goes with partnership firm. Now, partnership firm, when we start discussing, one of the best benefits is that as soon as you sign the partnership deed, both the partners or as many partners should sign the partnership deed to understand the terms. So you have to do that so that you get the partnership incorporated. Likewise, company, you have more complications to incorporate, MOA, AOA. Likewise, complication wise, if you see, the easiest sole proprietor, the toughest will be company, in between will be LLP partnership. So that's it, my friends. I have successfully discussed all the ideas with respect to various different entities. In case you have any doubts, please add in the questions, whatever is there in the comments, and I would conclude soon. Okay, so looks like there are no questions. So I'd like to conclude. I would like to thank Amity University for giving this wonderful opportunity. I had a ball, and I really congratulate Amity team for conducting these sessions, which is helpful for the general public and the students who want to start business. And I'm happy to have been a part of this program.